Hello and welcome back to another Monster Hunter video. This is all about the latest update, the Deviljho update 152771. That is the update number, and you can find this when you open up your game. That will be your current version. If you do not have that current version, you'll be unable to play with people who have that current version, which is sort of like a disclaimer and obviously quite obvious. If people haven't updated, you can't play with people who have updated. And the main thing in this update is Deviljho. Yay! Or boo if you've never come across them, because you're going to have a really fun time, trust me. Now, the way in which you actually find Deviljho is actually quite weird. You basically need to go on random expeditions, doesn't actually matter what one, until you come across a certain icon on the right hand side. So we're going to jump straight into random expeditions, and I can't really find any confirmation of this, but basically just run around for a little bit. I just like poked a few things and then like collected a few things, and eventually every time you come out, check the list again. It did actually take quite a while for me. I've known some people to have it immediately, others it took like one or two. It literally took me about 9 or 10 different expeditions to actually get this to come up. But essentially, after you've poked around and you've done a few expeditions, what you're essentially looking for is, in reality, an indiscriminate icon with question marks next to it. You can see it there on the right hand side. I have it in the ancestral forest. I also have it in one other area, but that's basically essentially what you're looking for. So when that pops up, run to that area and you should essentially find yourself a Deviljho, or as he is known to quite a lot of people, the Pickle, or Pickle Joe, Pickle of Doom. You've got yourself into a bit of a pickle. Holy crap, that's a giant pickle. Or just holy crap, run for it. Deviljho in pretty much all other games has been this disastrous monster that, I don't know, you'll be fighting a great Jagras, just trying to chill out, have a good time, doing an easy hunt, and then all of a sudden this titanic music of absolute monstrous chilling will just play, and then you get eaten, basically. It's a bit of a nightmare. But once you actually find an expedition with that icon, you basically just run around for a little bit, have a good time, mine a few things, pick up some crap. And you need to essentially find footprints or visually see the monster, and this will unlock the next part for you. Now, I sadly did something a little bit stupid when I did this. I wanted to pick a fight because I'm just that sort of guy. As well as the fact that I've heard that Deviljho in this game has some really, really great interactions, and the reason I went for the Ancestral Forest, particularly on this one, is because there's also an Anjanath wandering around, and I was like, oh, I wonder what two brute wyverns, the Anjanath and the Deviljho, would do if they happen to come across each other, and there is the Pickle. It's a big ass pickle. It's a bloody big ass pickle. Look at it, it's a pickle. It's quite funny though watching him maneuver it sometimes, because he's not the most graceful of creatures, and he's just pure angry all the bloody time. So I did a little bit of running around, and I poked and progged the Deviljho and the Anjanath to try and get them to stir up. But sadly, the best I could do was get them to just sort of run around and roar and then try and attack me, and it didn't really go too well. Somewhat anticlimactic, actually. I mean, music's great. Listen to this. But yeah, this is basically all they did. They just sort of like looked at each other and roared, and I was actually quite surprised because I've not actually fought a Deviljho since Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, like when that first came out, and I thought Anjanath was like a pretty similar size, but it turns out Deviljho dwarfs him in comparison, and it was quite interesting to see, really, especially considering how rapid the monstrous Deviljho can decide to move on occasions. And then eventually the Anjanath just gave up with his roaring competition and decided to run for it in the graceful way in which only an Anjanath can actually do. So that's essentially how you actually find the Deviljho in the first place. And then once you've found it, you can you need to escape first, or you can try and kill it if you want. If you're feeling brave, try and kill it. But you need to then escape and return from the expedition. Congrats, you've just survived your first Deviljho experience, at which point you need to pester these 3 gnomes over here. They'll tell you a lovely story about how one of them got kicked out of his mother's house, how the other one has a weird fetish with toes, and the third one is in love with the commander. Yeah, you can read this in your own time. I literally just span through it. They basically give you a backstory, and you know they tell you how much they loved you and how the one wearing the mask is just really upset that the one with the moustache keeps farting. They then give you a tutorial which basically says go on another expedition and find the Deviljho. So let's go on another expedition and find the Deviljho. After I eat. Must eat first. And why are we eating? Because I'm going to make this Deviljho eat my charge blade! Mwahaha! And just gonna run around and oh crap, there he is, look at that. He was easy to find. I love it when he sort of like heightens himself up. He looks like a weird green ferret with horrible teeth. Horrible teeth. So, yeah, he's actually quite annoying to fight, particularly with some of the slower weapons, because you can just get stuck under him, and when he moves around you just get like, doesn't do a great amount of damage, but it's almost like you just get friggin' stun locked and tremor locked and roar locked, just like, for crying out loud, just seriously just move 10 feet over there and let me stab you in the face, you bloody green pickle. But while this is going on, just thought I'd let you know that with the update came a few other things, such as bug fixes, so I'll just go through those while you laugh at me try and fight my first Deviljho in about a year and a half, which is going to be hilarious. I can hear you all now. Anyway, some of the bug fixes that came out with this update are they've attempted to fix the remaining connection issues that were causing excessive error messages, as well as some of people crashing during host disconnection from session, or I can actually attest to this one as well, just randomly being told that I've disconnected from the session when I haven't. There are a few issues as well that have been noted and again have been tried to be fixed when certain elements would slow down your performance, such as thunder elements are being displayed and the breaking the parts of Basilgeist's back. Apparently, I would have said Kushala de Oro would be the first one to go for that, but never mind. A fix has been implemented to stop people crashing or being unable to exit the Poogie menu when changing the name. A bug fix where limited bounty information would be lost when accessing the bounty list at the resource center in offline mode. Fixed a bug where the help text for setting online sessions to private provided incorrect information. And fixed an issue in Arabic where the group's guild card title was not consistent with other titles. It's also noted at the bottom, as I previously mentioned, the ID number for this update is verified in the top left corner when you launch the game. You can only play with people who have the update as well. Another add-in with this game is obviously we've got Deviljho, and as you would assume, we have Deviljho equipment, armor, weapons. Unlike in previous game, Deviljho has at least one weapon for, well, every weapon. Normally he doesn't have all of them. There's a few things that have been missing, but I'm really excited to finally see that he has everything. So whatever your flavour, whatever your taste, you have a Deviljho weapon to go with it. And his armour is actually pretty darn good now and probably could be implemented in quite a few builds within the PC area. They've also added a new specialised tool, the Dragon Proof Mantle, and there is also the addition of a paid DLC, just in case people are wondering. It's a costume for the handler. It's some sort of chef's coat. I don't know, maybe you like your handler to look like Gordon Ramsay. Sounds a bit weird if you ask me. But in total, that is the complete update for Monster Hunter World. I do hope you enjoy the rest of this combatancy between myself and the pickle. It is somewhat entertaining. After you have completed this expedition, you don't have to fight him, you just need to sort of... what you did with the Pink Rathian and the Elder Dragons, filling up that little bar, that's essentially what you need to do with him. If you just fight him and kill him, you do it in one. Or capture him, which is what I did, because it got really irritating after a while due to how big and cumbersome he now is. He does a lot less damage than he normally did in previous games, and he is a lot less aggressive. Normally he didn't give you a single break or room to move. In this, he just sort of likes to just fanning around in random corners, although he is a bit more... I don't know, he just seems a bit dumbed down, which I'm a bit disappointed by. But still, Deviljho is back in the game. Can't wait for Tempered Deviljho, and this is also going to get so much fun. So I'm going to leave it here. I will let you guys watch the rest of the catastrophic fight, and I hope to see you guys pretty darn soon. Ta-ra!